You're listening to Rendezvous with the Writer with Bobbi Jean and Jim Bell, only on LA Talk Radio.
Welcome to Rendezvous with a Writer, where readers and writers meet.
And story is everything.
We're your hosts tonight, Jim and Bobbi Bell. You've just been listening to Hot Texas by the Hot Texas Swing Band and our friend Alex Gorman.
Yeah, and happy holidays, Alex, if you happen to have tuned in tonight. And this is episode 164, and we are so glad that you are joining us for this special night. We have this is going to be a great show. So you should be taking some notes. If you're a writer, get out that notepad, start taking some notes, because our guest is...
Lori Buchanan.
And she has simply appeared on screen. Lori, welcome.
Hi, how are you?
We're really, really good. We're so excited to have you with us tonight. We are broadcasting live from
the famous writing resort, Pines and Quill, in the great town of Fairhaven, Washington, high above the Bellington Bay.
Yeah.
Absolutely magnificent property.
Yes, Lori has just written us right into her next book. Lori, where are you joining us from tonight?
I'm joining you from Boise, Idaho, the most southwestern corner of Idaho that you can be in without being in Oregon.
And we are going to be talking about this fabulous book. You can see Jim has a lot of post-it notes in here because these were all pages with quotes he didn't want to forget. So we are talking about Illusionist, book 5 in the Sean McPherson series. And Lori, we're just going to point out, because this is about illusions, if you're seeing double, you're really not.
I love your
For
shirt.
those
Sure.
you that are listening and not watching this evening, Jim and I happen to be wearing the same separate shirts, but the same design. Yeah. Oh, so let's see, Lori, do you want to go ahead and start us off with Lori's bio?
We have a bio here. We do. Lori Buchanan is a novelist, photographer, and an avid reader based in the Pacific Northwest. With a keen eye for detail and a passion for creativity and authenticity, she crafts great crime thrillers from her historic Hayloft writing studio, where atmosphere fuels inspiration and storytelling thrives. Welcome.
Thank you.
And
I'm glad to be here.
Lori, one of the things that you say about this book, and we used it in all of the posts that we did, is you talk about, take a breath. You say, brace yourself. And eventually you say, remember to breathe. And I will say, as readers, really, really good advice. Oh, we are going to get more in detail of the book in just a moment. First, I just want to say, if we have any Blue Cottage friends, agency friends that might be listening tonight, Lori is part of Blue Cottage, as are we. And we know that Blue Cottage Agency, Clicks by Madison authors, you may well be watching, and we're just going to thank you for being with us tonight. You may already be sharing, and we really, really appreciate that, don't we, Lori?
Absolutely.
So before we get into the book, let's just get to know you a little bit. This is holiday time. We are December 11th, 2025. Do you have a favorite holiday movie that you enjoy?
I do. In fact, it's called The Holiday, and it's the Cameron Diaz and Jude Law, and people trade houses. That's my favorite
Well,
holiday movie.
I remember that movie.
Yeah,
That's a
absolutely. I
really
see that every year, and I laugh all over again. I love it. It's a great movie.
Is Eli Wallach a neighbor in that film?
I don't remember
Okay,
that. Jack
that's okay.
Black
That's
is in
okay.
it.
Yes, yes, that's a wonderful film. Okay, in the book, we get treated as readers to a lot of fabulous food. That's when we get to breathe. Do you have a favorite holiday meal or food or baked good? What do you like?
My favorite recipe that I'm going to pull down here. And for those people who subscribe, it's going to be in my January newsletter. This is
Oh,
that you can use any time of year. It only has 5 ingredients, and this is for people who like spicy food. And it is jalapeno popper cups. Oh my gosh, they're delicious. And you can make them as spicy as you want by adding more jalapeno, or make them a little bit milder by using less. So
oh my
absolutely,
gosh.
that's my all-time favorite. If somebody asks me to come to a party and I'm supposed to bring something, it's jalapeno popper cups. Absolutely.
You know, the Neil in the book,
Yeah,
he would make that.
yeah, Neil.
And did the Neil in real life, he make that too?
Well, my husband's name is Len, but he's the real life
Okay,
role
all
model
right.
for Neil in the book,
Yeah,
and he makes
yeah.
everything. Absolutely.
Do you have a favorite tradition?
Yes. So we live in a historic district, and people here decorate like crazy, and I do mean like crazy. So we get all bundled up and we get Henry, our big dog, and we go walking. We walk anyway, but at night we go walking and we look at the things that people do. It's not just their house, it's their trees, it's the things they put out in the yard, things they put on the roof. Yeah, it's amazing. That's a favorite holiday tradition, is to walk the neighborhood and see who's doing what.
Oh, how fun. How fun. Well, she just talked about walking. Do you want to ask the walking question?
I get tired listening to us talk about walking. You have a really strong regimen. What do you do every day?
Well, I walk a total of 6 miles every day. I walk 3 2-mile increments. And 2 of the walks at this time of year, especially, are in the dark. So I wear a headlamp and I take Henry, my big dog, with me, and we just walk. And Len comes with me much of the time, not all the time, but much of the time. And I live close to a river. So we'll walk along the river, or we'll walk downtown. We're just a mile from the Capitol, or we'll walk down to the Botanic Gardens, or there's so many different paths we can take, and there's bridges we can cross over, and we enjoy our walking. Absolutely. So we get 6 miles a day.
Thanks for this one.
And I think you've been doing it for like over 40 years, haven't you?
A very, very, very long
Very,
time.
and that's why, that's why she
wonderful.
looks so incredibly young. And there's just an old portrait up in the attic, that's aging, but we should have been, why haven't we been doing that? Why haven't we, what's our excuse?
Everybody, I could put on a running shoes, my toe hurts.
Oh my goodness. So, Lori, how did you get started with writing? Have you always written? Tell us a little bit about your writing background.
Well, I was a holistic health practitioner, and my clients said I did a lot of teaching. And this was at my private practice called Whole Essence, a combination of 2 words, holistic essence. And I did a lot of teaching as well. And people would say, you need to write a book. You've got to write a book. You have to write a book. You have to write a book. So I wrote the first book, Note to Self, a 7-step path to gratitude and growth, and then kept, doing my job as a holistic health practitioner. You've got to write another book. You've got to write another book. And so I did another book, a nonfiction book, and that was called The Business of Being, Soul Purpose in and Out of the Workplace. And then I knew that I was done with I didn't have anything else brilliant to say that was factual, but I had a lot of non-factual things that I wanted to share. So that's when I shifted gears and switched over to writing fiction.
Gritty, thriller, fiction.
Yes.
I wouldn't even call it fiction. I just call it gritty, heart pounding, turn the page, keep the light on.
So dangerous.
Yeah. Do you want to? We had a couple good questions. You want to jump in there, honey, with one of them?
Questions. We have all sorts of
I
questions.
know. I know.
You know, there's two things we noticed in the book. We have a lot of testimonials here in the front.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
You're getting into the blurbs already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you know, so we'd ask, you know.
It's okay.
Did you do a lot of arm twisting, or did these
You
folks?
When you're a writer, and I belong to She Writes Press, that's my publisher. So there's a lot of sister authors. You can say, you know, can I write a blurb for you? Can I read your book? Would you read my book? It's really nice. And then when you start like an avalanche, start gaining ground, then other people say, oh, you know, would you read my book? Can I, you know, that kind of a thing. And it's wonderful. People step up to the plate, men and women, for blurbs, and blurbs are so important. They're a way for somebody like on the front cover to see really quickly, you know, Jeffrey Diamond said this, Joy Reimar said that, and it's a fast, quick hit, and it's so important for authors to be able to get those and have them on their covers and inside. Those are called praise pages.
Praise pages. Okay, I got that. So we've been talking a little bit about you write thrillers. So I think most of our audience probably knows the difference between a thriller and a mystery, but we'd love to have you, in your own words, talk about the difference.
Okay, and a lot of people don't know the difference. And in fact, in a bookstore, you can go into Barnes and Noble, pick a bookstore, and they'll have just mystery, and they'll have suspense and thriller within there. So let me tell you the difference. A mystery is when the characters in the book and the person reading the story have the same amount of knowledge, and they don't know who done it. Whatever the thing is, they don't know who done it. In a thriller, almost from the get-go, it could be on the opening page or the opening chapter, it could be in the prologue, almost from the get-go, the author reveals who this bad person is, who this antagonist is, but the characters in the book don't know. So therein comes the suspense. That creates, like, oh my gosh, don't go in the garage, don't go out the back door, don't answer the phone, you know, because you know what's going on, but the characters don't. And that's where the suspense comes in. So that's the difference.
Yeah, yes, absolutely. And do you find that you are able to read thrillers in, you know, your genre? You're able to read in your genre? And are you able to read, or are you analyzing? Are you editing? Are you saying, oh, why did they do that way?
I wouldn't do it that way.
The only thing that kind of chaps my hide in it could be any genre, is when you're in a person's point of view. Let's say that I'm Neil McCullough. I'm Neil McCullough, and I've accidentally written what my face looks like. Well, when you're in that person's point of view, you can't see your own face, and that happens all the time. And that is probably my pet peeve, is when the author forgets they can't see their own face. They can't see that. So you have to, when you're in a point of view, it's what's through your eyes. You're not looking in a mirror.
Yeah. We are, this is so much fun. We knew it would be. Yeah, we knew it would be. Okay, so we are going to step away for just a moment, and we're going to hear from our sponsors, Blue Cottage Agency and Clicks by Madison. And if you are a writer, they are standing by to assist you, and they have a very special offer with your needs in mind. When we come back, we'll be chatting more with special guest Lori Buchanan. Don't go away. We'll be right back. Authors, welcome home! Every author needs a website, a home base for their brand. Professionally showcase your books and brand with a custom website landing page starting at $369. BlueBookshelf.com. It's a great feeling to be home. Contact the Blue Cottage team today to get started.
Welcome back. Welcome back to Rendezvous with the Writer. Special guest Lori Buchanan. And she's here. It's not an illusion.
She's really here. Lori, there's another thing, besides blurbs, there's another thing that can really help readers, and readers can really help authors, and that is writing a review. Can you take a moment and help those of us that maybe are intimidated? We haven't written a book review in years and years and years, and it was always stressful. And tell us a little bit about why we should write reviews, how we should write reviews, and where we should post them.
I will. So yes, they are incredibly important. And the shorter, the better. This isn't a book report. And you're not, when you write a review, you don't need to say anything about the plot because everything is on the back of the book already. We've already given you an overview. There's a summary here. So you don't have to do that. So my rule of thumb, so first of all, She Writes Press, that's my publisher. They don't want us to write any reviews or receive any reviews because then they have to chop them up. More than 50 words. That's it. 50 words and make them punchy, make them powerful, make them something that can be on the front cover of a book. So I'm going to give you an example. I recently was asked by Joy Rybar, would I read her ARC, Advanced Reader Copy, and provide a review for her? And so I did. And then this is an exactly 50 words. And when I write a review, I don't say anything about the plot. I say how that book made me feel. So that's really easy. You can say, oh, I was scared. I was whatever it was, whatever the book is. So here's what I wrote, 50 words. Joy Rybar is razor sharp at crafting a tense atmosphere, layering it with rich imagery and the ever-present sense that time is running out and the other shoe is about to drop. But no matter where you look, you won't see it coming. And that, dear reader, is what kept me riveted, period. So that's 50 words on the nose. And she pulled part of that. That's called a pull quote. She pulled part of those 50 words because you can only put about 20 words on a front cover. And I'm on her book, which is coming out in April 2026. So keep the two things are keep it short, 50 words or less if you can, and don't write a book report. Don't talk about the plot. How did the book make you feel? And then it makes it so easy. You're freed up. You don't have to write a report like in school.
Yeah. Okay. So give us the title of that book and give us her name again, because we're booking 2026.
Okay. So her name is Joy, Joy, Rybar, Ribar. And it's the third book in the Babe Browning series. And it's called Poetry Slammed. This stuff happens at a poetry slam. And it's pretty cool.
Oh, how fun. How fun. I know you have a question, honey. I know you have a question.
Well, we do. We talked about this a little the other night. You got an army of people, at least a team of it says here 53.
53.
Yeah. They help you get going here when you really get close to the action.
Yes, they're called a street team. So I've had a street team since I wrote nonfiction, and it's people who are willing to read an ARC, an advanced reader copy. Sometimes that's on your laptop in the form of a PDF. Sometimes you actually get a physical book. I mail it to you, and they read it, and then they write a review. They post it. You can't post anything on Amazon till the date, the publication date, but you can on BookBub, and you can on Goodreads. And I'm not sure if you can do it in advance on Barnes & Noble or not. I'm not sure. I use 3 places: Amazon, BookBub, and Goodreads. And so you read it, and you tell the truth. You know, this is a 3-star, a 4-star, a 5-star. If I can't give a book, I read more than 100 books a year. If I can't give a book 3 or more stars, I don't review it at all. My mother said, if you can't say something nice, don't say anything at all. And I know better.
That's
And I
true.
wouldn't want to get something, I wouldn't want to get a review, that's a 2 or 1 star. That would, I just wouldn't want to. So I don't want to do that to somebody else. So writing a review is important because it helps people when you go out to look, whatever your favorite bookseller is, you go out there and you see who has said what, and they say, oh gosh, it was so scary, and you like to be scared, or whatever it might be, it made me cry, it was so emotional, or I love the food, oh, I'm a foodie, so I'm interested, that kind of a thing. It's important that you get reviews.
Are there some things that some members of this team do besides write and review?
Absolutely. They not only post the reviews on those places that I mentioned, but they also, kind of tout it on Facebook or Instagram or Substack or, Twitter, or it's now X. And they shout it out to their families. They go to their library and say, do you carry this book? If you don't, will you please carry this book? And they tell their family and friends. They go to their book club and say, can we read this book next? And that's fun. Almost every author, I don't know an author who doesn't talk with book clubs. I don't know an author, whether it's by Zoom, because I talk with book clubs all over the place, and then locally. And that's really fun. I'm really close to Boise State University, and they have a book club. And I get to go there and talk about the Sean McPherson novels.
Well, since we're talking about books, as of course we always do, this is the perfect time to say 'tis the season for book gift giving. We're going to step away for just a moment to tell you about another one of the places you can order the books for many of our author guests, including tonight's featured guest, Lori Buchanan. You'll find their books on our Out West Shop affiliate page on bookshop.org. And right now, if you check into the Rendezvous with a Writer Facebook page daily, my sister Wendy and I, who are sort of book guides for our affiliate page, are posting each day books that we consider perfect for the person on your list. So don't go away, because now when we come back, we're going to get in depth to The Illusionist. Don't go away.
Story is everything. Find a great one on Out West Shop's bookshop. Go to outwestshop.com, find books and CDs on the menu. Choose Shop Out West on bookshop.org. Browse through featured authors on Rendezvous with a Writer. Explore curated book lists and our featured picks. Add in note cards, calendars, and jigsaw puzzles. One-stop shopping for great gifts. Use the search box to find thousands more titles. Make the switch. Your purchase supports us as independent booksellers. That's our story.
That was so cool. I love that. I wasn't expecting the smoke and mirrors and the music. Woo-hoo.
Surprise, surprise. And thank you, Sam Hassan of LA Talk Radio, for getting that on for us tonight. Thank you, Sam. It sounded fabulous. So, Lori, let's talk about Illusionist. And since we just played that music, do you want to tell us a little bit about that music and the role it plays in this book?
There's a Tai Chi pavilion on the property, and the people who live at Pines and Quill and their guests are getting treated to a magic show by Jennifer Pruitt, who is a phenomenal illusionist. Some might say magician, but we'll say illusionist. And she is right up there with the David Copperfields, the Penn and Tellers of this world. And she has music that plays, and it amps up, and the lights go up and the lights come down, and music is very important in this particular inciting incident that takes place during this magic show. This I don't want to steal my own thunder, so I'm going to be careful, but somebody disappears right in the front of everybody's eyes. She's right there, and then she's not. And this starts this whole thing. But the music is very do 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 do.
Well, you write about that piece of music, and I think you include a couple of others by the same musician who's also a magician in real life. And so, of course, I had to go and find the music, and we're delighted that we were able to put a little snippet on, because I think it also just captures this book. Well, it doesn't start slow, folks. She's gonna get you on page 1, but it builds and it builds, like any good thriller. It builds and builds, and you wonder, when can I breathe? Okay, the writers are all getting together and they're having some conversation. Oh, I can breathe. Oh, we're having a meal. Oh, we're having a meal. Oh, I want to eat all that food and I want to drink all that wine, but oh, I can breathe. And then it starts. And so I found that music was just the perfect analogy for the book. This is a fabulous book.
Thank you.
Okay, Jim, you need to ask a question. Come on. I'm doing all the talking.
Is it a good time to ask a little bit about what's the storyline?
Yes. Inspiration and storyline, a little bit of storyline. And it's a series, so a little bit of backstory to the series.
Okay,
yes.
So I originally thought of the idea when I was writing my first nonfiction book. I was actually a writer in residence at Hedgebrook Writing Retreat on Whidbey Island, which is just off the coast of, off from Seattle. You have to take a ferry over. And I was there writing a nonfiction book, and there are cabins. Mine are cottages on Pines and Quill. These are cabins, and you stay in your own cabin. And depending on the time of year, you might be putting wood in your own little fireplace. And then, just like at Pines and Quill, you go at the end of your writing day, you go and you eat with everybody, and you say, this is what went well for me today, and this didn't go well for me today. And it's very similar. I got the idea for Pines and Quill from being a writer in residence at Hedgebrook. Well, one day this is at the daytime. It's not dark outside. I go outside. I've been writing and I've been thinking, and this is nonfiction, but I'm out there and I'm sitting on this big boulder thing, and I'm looking in the distance, and I see this man, and he's very handsome, and he's pushing a wheelbarrow, and he's limping. It's a very significant limp. And I tucked that away in my mind. We all have Pendaflex folders in our brain. Mm-hmm. And I tucked that away, and that seed germinated into Sean McPherson. He is Sean McPherson. So when I was done writing nonfiction, I got out that Pendaflex folder, and there was Sean McPherson. And I could have thought, that could have happened in Afghanistan, or it could have, and it happened to be when he was a police officer, and his partner, Sam. So we're going back to the first book. His partner, Sam, and him were tricked into coming to what was a situation where they're driving along, they're going under an overpass, and a sniper takes out Sam, the driver, and Sam is killed instantly. The car flips, it hits a wall, and Mick almost dies. He's life flighted out of there, and he has to learn to walk again, and he's in a wheelchair for a significant period of time, and he goes to live with his sister and brother-in-law, Libby and Neil McCullough, at Pines and Quill. And he as he's learning to walk again, he becomes the groundsman, and it's a very Zen type of place, and he recovers there, and that's how things begin. And he has a horrifically heavy burden of survivor's guilt. This is the thing. This is his Achilles heel, is survivor's guilt.
Yeah. Okay. And this is the fifth book in the series. And as a writer, we come to the book 5. And that can be true for many readers. We don't all start with book 1. And I would say and encourage readers, if you don't have book 1 handy, don't worry about it. Pick up any series that you think you're going to enjoy and read that one. A really good author like Lori will weave into the story things that she'll think that you kind of will need to know to help you not feel like you're out in left field.
That's
you do
correct.
it brilliantly. Yeah, you do it brilliantly.
We drop breadcrumbs because if we, with each book that comes out, if we bring everybody up to speed, we'll lose our series readers because they'll be bored. So we can't do that. So what we have to do is drop breadcrumbs that aren't boring to the people who know this, but just we weave them in carefully. It's just like this little silver thread that you can barely see, but it's enough that you could read it as a standalone. But then what happens is, just like I think I started reading Louise Penny's Chief Inspector Gamache. I think I started with book 6, and I immediately went right back to 1 and read through. And now I think she released it's like book 19 or something, The Black Wolf. And she's a reader who I will always, she's a writer who I will always read. She has me hook, line, and sinker. And she does the same thing. She puts in just enough breadcrumbs that you know where you're at. She brings you to where you need to be. And I try to bring you to where you need to be.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I thought you did a real good job. I think it's a real standalone book. So it does make you definitely want to go out. Well, we better find out what the other ones are about,
She leaves an open-ended question at the end of the book. So we know we're waiting for book 6 for sure, because she's teasing us.
Yeah.
We take a breath, we go, oh, okay, satisfied ender. Readers, we like us satisfied. We might not always agree with it, but okay, we're okay. And then she left us hanging.
A little bit, and I do. Not a terrible cliffhanger that turns a person off, but it's a dangling carrot, and it is. And the next book is called Innocuous, and that book is a doozy. It is a doozy. And in Innocuous, we leave Pines and Quill. I've done that one other time in Impervious book 3, where there's a wedding. When Mick and Emma get married, they go to Louisiana. And so we go there. Now in Innocuous, we are in Vermont, we are in Maine, we are in New York. We are on the East Coast. We're still at Pines and Quill as well. So for a reason, people get broken up. And they're hither and yon, and it was fun because I had to keep time zones in mind, and you have to remember too. Whenever I start a book, I have to go out to the internet. I have to say, okay, this is going to be in Bellingham, Washington. It's in the month of October. When does the sun rise and when does the sun set? What is the high for the day? What is the low for the day? So I can dress the people appropriately. Well, the West Coast is different than the East Coast, so I had these time zone changes going on, and I had to know what's happening in New York, what's happening in Washington, and it was really fun. And there was something occurs that I'm not going to steal my own thunder. It's just really it's a doozy. It's a doozy.
When writing a series, of course, readers always expect some characters, we may see again. And you've obviously book 6 is sounds like it's pretty much done. So how do you keep track of your characters as you move from one story to the next?
Well, I'm glad you asked, because I just happen to have with me It's just a 3-ring notebook for each of my books. I have a 3-ring notebook, and I have on the front of it, what is the, it's painter's tape. What is the name of this book? When does it come out? And in this book, it's called a character Bible. In this notebook, I have, first of all, what does the word illusionist mean? See, I write the entire book around that 4-syllable I word. All of my books are 4-syllable I words. And I use the negative aspect of that word, and I write the entire book around that. So I need to know, what does illusionist mean? And then I go out to the internet, and this is for my sake and also the narrator, Rebecca Stern, and I grab a picture of what I think each person looks like. And I say this one is in a wheelchair. This is Brent. He's 5'7". He weighs this much. He's got brown eyes. He's, whatever. He's allergic to this. He takes this medicine, whatever it might be. So that's what he looks like. This is what I think Jennifer Pruitt looks like. She's gorgeous and she's very magical. Yeah. And then this is Adam. He's a little bit more.
Yeah, Adam.
Yeah. And then we have Lucy Fleming. We have Lucy Fleming, the Olympian. And so in each one, I interview each and every I ask them the same question through all the books, and the answers may not ever show up in the book, but it helps me know how to write them. So let's see. And each chapter opens with an epigraph, not an epitaph, an epigraph. And I'll come back maybe if we think about it for somebody who might not know that. But I ask the person, what do you want? And what are you hiding? Those are two of the most important questions. So for Jennifer, this was her answer. What do you want? I want control. On stage, I command the audience's gaze, bending reality with sleight of hand. Off stage, I long to reclaim stability after a messy divorce and to protect my daughter's future. What are you hiding? My silk rope isn't just a magician's prop. It's a symbol of the blurred lines between illusion and danger. I hide the truth that my mastery of deception may not only entertain, but also conceal vulnerabilities I'd rather keep in the shadows. So I do this with each character. Yeah. So I know when I put their hat on, I know how to be. What do I want no one to know? What do I want? And what am I hiding? And other questions too, and then what color is their hair, and all of that, the physical attributes.
Isn't that interesting? I was just thinking here, we were making a movie here, and you had the casting director. You could just hand him the book and say, "Here, get your characters right here."
You almost could, and it really helps Rebecca Stern, the narrator, for those of you who listen to audiobooks. It helps her, and she lives in Boise, so we get together for coffee, and she'll say, I don't want to overdo Neil's Scottish accent. He's Scottish. I don't want to overdo that. I'm going to nuance it. What do you think he looks like? What do you think? And so I give her these pictures, and she can, we bounce off each other. What do they sound like? Are they nasally? Are they, what do they sound like? And so it's really, this is helpful not only to me, but it's helpful to her.
Yeah. We're going to talk more about in-depth characters in just a moment. We're going to step away, and here's another sponsor, a word. Jim and I, our online business, outwestshop.com. And by the way, use coupon code BOOKS and save 20% off your order. More with Lori when we come back. Don't go away.
Here at the Out West Shop, we're passionate about the American West, the truth and the myth. We're purveyors of fine Western goods. We scout for unique and distinctive apparel, accessories, home decor, and general merchandise that are a reflection of the Western lifestyle. We hunt for unique artisans and craftsmen who are inspired to create decorative art you can wear based on their own love for the story of the West. We round it up and bring it to you. Check out OutWestShop.com when you need anything Western.
Welcome back to Rendezvous with the Writer. Special guest Lori Buchanan. Illusionist. Just illusionist. This one word.
So good. It's everybody. You should be getting it for somebody yourself for Christmas.
Hey, Lori, do any of these characters ever surprise you?
Yes, absolutely they do. Do you have a particular one in mind, or do you just want me to throw it out there?
Just throw one out.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, I do. So Giorgio the Bull Gambino, he happens to be the bad guy in this book.
Yeah.
But what I never expected, his loyalty surprised me. And it's not always to who you'd think. And that came as a very big surprise to me. And then Neil, I didn't expect his vulnerability. When I started writing him, I was going to have him be just, even though he cooks and he's in the kitchen, I was going to have him be kind of rough and tumble. And he's not. He's not that he can't handle himself. He certainly can, but he's quite vulnerable. And that surprised me, came out of nowhere.
Tell us about Hemingway.
Hemingway is a big Irish wolfhound. He's 150 pounds, and he's based on our no longer living Irish wolfhound, Willa. And then we have Maggie. That's short for Sister Margaret Mary McCracken. And she's called Sister Margaret Mary McCracken because she's black and white. She's a party poodle. And it looks like she's wearing a habit, a full habit. Yeah. And Maggie is based on our standard poodle, Henry. He's a 4-year-old. He's a big dog. He's 86 pounds. He's who I walk with. So, and they're really important to the story because they're both very faithful to their people, to each other. And they give us a moment of respite. We get to kind of lean back, except for if they're protecting somebody. Then, we all get our hackles up if we see somebody who's going to go after an animal. Then we get all charged up. And that's important to get those readers charged up.
Yeah. There's something, you bring the writers all together a couple of times, but early in the book, one of the first times they were sort of getting to know each other, you have them pull out the observation deck. And I thought that was quite interesting. Will you tell us a little bit about
it's a real
thing.
Honest to goodness, when you go to the store to buy this is a box, and you take off the lid, and in it is quite literally a deck of cards. I mean, there's these cards. And so in the inkwell, at the end of this lovely meal that's at this big table, they go in there, and each person, they draw a card. So this one, for instance, it says, find the music. So then what you do in the inkwell, you open this up to find the music, and it gives them a writing prompt. It is an exercise, and it helps the writers. And so this is coolest. I learned about this years ago at the Writers Institute in Madison, Wisconsin, and I'm not even sure if they still sell them. I can't imagine that they wouldn't, because it's a really cool tool, and it literally is in a box.
Yeah, that's very cool. Okay, we have time for one more, at least one more character. Call out a character name. Who do you want her to talk about?
Well, I thought Lucy was kind of an interesting character.
Lucy.
Because I think she has a dark side to her.
Lucy.
That may be going to come out later in another book.
So her competitive streak runs deeper than I planned, and she refuses to be sidelined. And I'm not going to, spoiler alert, I'm taking a slight pass here, but Lucy's there's much more to her than meets the eye.
So we thought.
Yeah. So we thought. Now, we have another bad guy. We have Carmine.
Carmine?
Yes. So who inspired him?
Well, to be able to keep, I look at the news every single day, and much of what I write is I don't write true crime, but I take something and I turn it into something very, very fictional. It's a different name. And you see these, we think, the mafia was in the 50s and the 60s, and no, it's still there. There's mafia. There's every ethnicity of mafia. In this book, it happens to be Italian. I've got Russian mafia coming in later books. I'm currently writing about the Russian mafia. When you stop to think about it, Alaska is only 56 miles across the Bering Strait to Russia. And that is a phenomenal place to on container ships to move people, drugs, organ harvesting. So there's Russian mafia coming up. So I look at the news and I pay close attention. And then, then I have to think of a 4-syllable I word. That's a literary hook that I use. And how can I write that completely around? So we know that I've got innocuous is coming. After that is insidious. After that is incognito. And I'm currently writing, I had to look up at my wall, insatiable. So, and then will be Icarius. And that is the guy in mythology that flew too close to the sun. My husband's a pilot, and I'm going to wring his brain for how can I use a pilot type situation.
Oh my gosh. Well, now I am looking at time and it is just flowing by. So Lori, everybody is going to want to get your newsletter for when you type out recipes. They want to know when the next book is coming. So tell us all the ways people can find you, follow you, and get your books.
If you're seeing this, you see my name spelled Laurie, Laurie, in case you are only hearing this. So it's lauriebuchanan.com. And when you go to my author website, it'll say you can subscribe to the newsletter. And I only send one a month. I never do more than that. And it typically, not always, but I do include recipes for those people who want those. I just did a story for the month of December, a Christmas story. So, but January we'll have the jalapeno popper cups.
Okay.
Do you ever get writer's block?
No, I do not. I don't. There are so many. No, there's so much going on in the world. There's no way that I'm going to run out of something negative to write about.
Yeah. Jim, you have a quote?
We have a couple.
You might have a
Do we have time for
I
both?
think we do if you talk quickly.
I'll do my best. This is obviously it's from the book, and this one we've quoted in the actual pages of the book. Kurt Vonnegut, who says it's a writer's job to stage conflict and confrontations so the characters will say surprising and revealing things. If a writer can't or won't do that, he should withdraw from the trade. And the quote that you had at the beginning of one of the chapters, Sal Bellow, you never have to change anything you got up in the middle of the night to write.
That's true. That's true.
We love that. We love that.
It was fun.
Let's see. We actually still have another. We're close, but let's see, Lori. Is there a very quick tip that you could give to a writer?
Show up, and then use the BIC method, butt in chair. Show up, sit down, stay there and write. I do a lot of teaching. I teach a lot of writing conferences. Show up, be consistent.
When I sat down to read the book, your premise in my mind was like, this is such a great what if premise. And we read a lot. We've never come across another premise like this one. It's so very, very unique. And I think as readers, especially if you read a lot, you're really an avid reader, it's hard to be surprised. It's hard to not go, oh, this feels so familiar, I think. So congratulations, Lori, because again, I'm going to hold it up to the camera. Illusionist, Book 5. You will want books 1 through 4. Buy all 5, pass them around to family members, and get everybody trading every month. Trade off a book. There's a good idea for you. Yes. So thank you, Lori, for being with us for tonight. This was episode 164. It will replay immediately on Facebook, LA Talk Radio, and Rendezvous with a Writer. And a couple hours from now, it'll be up audio on Podbean. We want to do a big thank you to Sam Hassan of LA Talk Radio, especially the magic with the music.
That was
Sam,
fantastic.
thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you to our sponsors, Blue Cottage Agency, Clicks by Madison, and Out West Shop, to Alex Dormont and the Hot Texas Swing Band. Again, Lori, so delightful to have you. And I know book 6 is not out till 2027, but you will stay in touch, right? Because we will want you back.
You so much.
Next week, we have a good friend joining us who has just released the last book of her Sandhill series. This is Smugglers of Sandhill Island. Peggy Chambers, who has also sat in as a host with us, is back next week. So don't go away. You will not want to miss Peggy. Do you have a closing comment?
I do. First, thank you, Lori.
Thank you.
And as we always say, it's always a great day out west.
Keep writing, and we'll keep reading. And happy holidays, and we'll see you next week.